I'm bad at languages. I just don't have the brain for it. I can't memorize it. I want to say this very clearly. That's not true. If you can speak English, you can actually learn another language. What didn't work for you was the method, but it wasn't you who failed. My name's Chris and I've been teaching and learning languages for over 20 years. I've worked as a teacher, I've been an examiner, and I've seen firsthand how languages are taught in schools and how that experience can completely put people off learning. The way I teach is very different from the way most of us were taught at school. Instead of starting with grammar rules, verb tables, never-ending vocabulary lists that don't have any connection, I use meaningful, usable language from day one. You'll hear the language in context, you'll understand it before you're expected to produce it, and you'll start building full, useful sentences very early on, even as a beginner. So rather than memorizing isolated words or rules, you'll learn how the language actually works in real life. The method I use is based on how our brains naturally acquire language. In other words, the same way you actually learned English as a baby. We learn best when the language is understandable, when we hear and see the same useful patterns again and again, when we feel safe to experiment without fear of getting things wrong, and when we experience small wins early on. In my classes, I use tools like sentence builders, guided input, and lots of recycling of high-frequency language. After 20 years in education, I can honestly say that this approach works. It's not just for good students, but for people who thought they were hopeless at languages, for adults who feel embarrassed to speak, or for busy people who don't have hours a day to study. I've seen learners go from "I can't do this" to "oh wait, I just said that in Spanish." That's a moment when people realize that they actually can do it, and is extremely powerful. Learning a language shouldn't be about passing a test. A life skill that opens opportunities, it opens you up to new cultures and new connections, and it changes the way you travel. It reminds your brain that it's capable of actually learning something new at any age, not to mention all the additional cognitive long-term benefits. This course is designed to be supportive, practical, and human. We build the skill step by step in a way that actually works. I'm really excited to guide you on this journey, so I'll see you in our classroom.